we'll swiftly move Michael on. Introduce Michael from DataArt, one of the teams we've been working with, and clearly very firmly plugged into the Juju concept.
Exactly, and it's excellent intro after the Zabbix. Is our excellent partners at DataArt. They will explain more into their demos. They really look like who heard or have project around Docker and Kubernetes, Mesos. You heard about that. DataArt actually put that into the telco realm and used Juju to do that too. There is two aspects when you start using Docker. It's perfect, super nice for your developers, and then you need to use all those other tools to be able to scale up and down, and those tools need to be managed by the infrastructure. And here, thanks to Juju, because we model Kubernetes, Mesos, Docker, we can do both, and we can relate them, meaning that our friends at DataArt did it. They did connect the Kubernetes model to the Juju model, meaning that if you start using a lot of Dockers from your user developer's perspective, then Kubernetes will call Juju to have more resources to be able to handle the load. So automating the food chain from a user of your infrastructure wants to use more Docker, more PaaS, and then the infrastructure automatically react to give more resources to that environment. And that's just simply truly amazing.
It is truly amazing.
In a few weeks, they did.
Anyway, good bit of padding there. Michael's just about set up now. So what Michael's going to do is we've got a real live running system now, fingers crossed, and now Michael's going to run some services on top of it. So Michael, over to you.
Hello, everyone.
Shout.
The shout? Okay. Hello, everyone. Just very quickly about DataArt, we're a little bit different. We're not a product company. We're a consulting and professional services organization. We're a global company, been in business over 18 years, have over 1,500 developers and consultants, and have specialty business practices. Obviously, telco, Internet of Things is one of them, financial services, hospitality, and media. That's it from the sales side. We had just an introduction to the Juju environment, and so we made a decision for this demo to keep it timely. We're not going to redeploy. We're seeing one being deployed. At the end of this, I'll give a link. This entire demonstration is available in GitHub and in the store, so we would encourage you to take it, play with it, use it. If there's any questions, please come and see me. I'll be around for the day. So the Juju interface, as we just looked at before, pretty straightforward. This is a fully deployed environment, or a picture of a fully deployed environment that we have. So you see the connections, you see the relationships, and I'll go through these in a little more detail when we get to them. One of the pieces that's new, or wasn't talked about before, is a Mesos cluster, and Marathon, which is a management tool for Mesos. It's a microarchitecture, and what it does is it takes a container, turns it, and puts out a cluster, and then all the resources are flattened within it. So when you have a value-added services or an application that has individual constraints on it, in ours, we have a call consumer, and we would start sending millions of SMS messages to it during our loading, it gets very busy. The rest of the architecture doesn't. So why would you want to scale up and run multiple virtual machines, which costs money in the cloud, if you already have resources that are available? So inside a small environment or a micro environment. So what we're going to see in demo, and I'll take you through it, is in this environment, everything's flat. There's a total of 3 CPUs that's currently available. There's some REMI that's available in the environment. And as the demand increases, we'll see how it automatically adds new instances and scales up the environment as well. It's horizontal and vertical scaling of a telco app. So our application that we'll be showing today is teleconferencing on demand. So I saw a few people with their mobile phones. Later on in the demo, I'll be inviting you to join the conference call. We'll go through it. we'll also, in the running environment, deploy another application while it's currently running that will go through, capture the recording of the conference, and for everyone who joins in, we'll actually send you an SMS message when we're done with a link to the recorded call. It's a pretty simple application. There's a couple pieces that, if you will, we did put together rather ad hoc. One of them is the call recording software. We actually just imitate another user. They join the conference first and record everything. That actually lets us make sure everyone who joins the call, even if you join in late, when you get the recording, you get the full call. So you'll see me manually start the call recording. The other thing you'll manually see me do is start the load testing, as we just saw before. We'll be simulating 2 million SMS messages to our call processing application. And you'll see the load go quite up rather quickly by design for the demonstration. You'll also see in our monitoring solution, we put together a very quick monitoring solution. Zabbix would be a great replacement for it if you were thinking of doing something like this in production. So the monitoring that comes with this is something we just put together strictly for the demo, and to be able to, so everyone can see it very easily. It's pretty clear when we're loading things really fast. Here are the links for both GitHub and the Charm store. So you can go ahead, and we encourage people to take it and play with it. Key thing about scaling up, there's a lot of technologies to do that. And before I get into this, scaling down is just as important. If you go and leave 50 or 500 or 5,000 extra virtual machines running in the cloud, you're paying for it. And so part of the demonstration, which I hope we'll have time for, is when we stop the load testing and we take off the extra service, the entire environment will scale down automatically as well, both inside the Mesos cluster and inside the Docker container. Okay. I will not be slow. So let's start looking at the demo. So we saw the environment, a couple key components. I mentioned our monitor. I'm just going to bring that up. Very, very simple, as I said. And please you'll be looking down here on our call consumer area. That's the area that we're looking at. And in the Mesos cluster, there are two things that we want to look at. The first is the entire Mesos cluster, which you'll see we currently have. Let me scroll down. 3 CPUs, 2 were used in the environment, so please keep that in mind as we start the demo. And we'll look at the Marathon interface, which is just management for Mesos. And here you'll see the applications that are actually running. So very simple teleconference application. Straightforward. What I'm going to do now is start the loading. And here we're starting to simulate 2 million calls, or 2 million SMSs into the conference. I don't want to keep switching back and forth, so we'll do the loading, and then as we do the loading and it's still running, we'll start the conference. There's a lot of context switches here otherwise. So one of the things we'll see here very quickly, I mentioned if you look down, see we're at 63% of the loading of this. Again, this is a great place for Zabbix to go in. Marathon is already detected and has now just finished deploying an instance. We've gone from 1 to 2 that quickly. It's about 25 seconds on that. So we don't have to deploy an entire new virtual machine. We had resources available. Mesos will update right here. We can see we've now consumed 2.5, up from 2 CPUs. In the Juju environment, and in the container, it's going to take a while longer to react because we're actually going to be spawning a new virtual machine. The system now says, okay, I'm getting close to my resource limits. So let me not only put a micro instance available, keep the application running, give it the resources it needed, but maybe you're going to need more. So it's going to, as we're seeing right here, yep, it's starting with the pending unit. So it's already started spinning up another VM. It'll put the software on it and configure it. But what's key is the application already has the resources that it needs when it's running. So this is a scaling up and out, if you will. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start that call recorder. One of the things I want to point out about the Juju environment, which we really like, is we're running in a cloud. There's IP addresses. They're all over the place. They may change. You might migrate from one platform to another. Inside the Juju environment, all I need to know is the name of the application I want to connect to. And I think, yeah, we can see it up on the screen. So I just want to talk to the conference recorder. I don't know what its IP address is. Juju takes care of managing that because it's been deployed by Juju. And simply named Start Recording. So instead of going full screen, I'll just leave this up. If anyone wants to send an SMS, you'll get an immediate callback on your phone. And I'm going to show you this right here on my phone. I'm going to use a SIP phone. Oops.
Yeah, note the number that Michael's dialing is not the same number that you'll dial because he's going internally.
I am going internally.
And this is a good place to plug the provider of the number. This number that we're using here actually is not a True Phone one. We found an undocumented issue with the True Phone numbers, and so very kindly, Alex Kinch, Alex, are you here in the room? There he is at the back there from Xiron. Plugged the gap. He said, "I've got some numbers here. Use one of these." And so we're very grateful to Alex and Xiron, wholesale provider, for providing us with a number which works in this demo. So thanks for that, Alex. Are we ready for people to start SMSing?
Yes, no, absolutely.
Okay, I'm going to get my phone because I'm going to have a go at this as well. Where's my phone? Is anybody on the conference call already? Yeah, we've got a couple. Yeah, okay. It's working.
So I'm the slow one, of course.
And what's amusing is on my phone here, I'm getting a whole swathe of Slack notifications telling me that you're all joining the conference call.
There we go. So the conference is running and being recorded. Again, hopefully my screen is up there. I don't know what. Something had to break in the demo, and apparently my screencasting is broken. There we go. We'll leave it like that. So the conference is running, it's recording. There's nothing overly magical or interesting about that, other than get the call back. What I'm going to do now, though, and in the interest of time, trying to catch us up a few minutes, what I'm going to do is I'm going to deploy a new value-added service in the environment, which is going to drop the call and send the recording to everyone. You should get an SMS and a link. So a couple things here to show. Again, Marathon's running at 2. We now have 3 instances deployed of this versus the 2 that were done. We have scaled up. When I drop it, I'm just going to connect it in. You see it builds the other relationships dynamically. And I commit it, which is the same thing as executing it. So the resources are now being connected, redefined, and it is running. If we come over here to Mesos, sorry, Marathon, we'll see a new application gets deployed in a few seconds. It's drop conference. Then the conference will end up terminating for everyone, and you'll get your link. So here's our drop conference that's now running. It's deploying. You see, it's pretty quick, an environment to do that. So once it starts running the conference again, we'll get it back. What also happens is we'll start being able to scale down. So again, you saw a new instance in about 30 seconds. And then the environment?
Yeah, we're rapidly running out of time here, Michael.
Just
so we're now running about 9 minutes behind.
Well, someone chewed into about 6 minutes of my time.
Sebastian, wherever you are, get yourself ready to get up here.
there, and it's running, and at least on mine, hopefully on everyone else's, you can see that I've gotten a message saying thank you for joining DataArt. And then there's a link to the call that you can download and listen to. So that being said, we will now terminate the loading, destroy the application, scales it down. And I don't think we need to show that, but if anyone wants to see it, I'll keep the screen up and you can find me.
Brilliant. Thanks for that, Michael.
Thank you, everyone.